Today's podcast is brought to you by Quantrix Modeler Introductory Training, teaching the fundamental foundation that you need to become a Quantrix master. Go to quantrixauthority.com to learn more.
Show me how you do Quantrix.
Hey, welcome back to another netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Sincerely appreciate you joining me today for episode number 201, Multiple Condition Select. Select with flying key, not working. I showed you the flying key or the multiple condition select in episode 200. I think it's a fantastic trick. I wanted to share with you a problem that you may have with it that I want you to avoid, because I've had that same problem, and not until recently have I been corrected on how to avoid this problem. So first, this is the problem that you may encounter when you try to employ some flying key logic. I have here a matrix, and what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to get a forecast from this matrix over here, this shipper demand forecast. I want to total that number, and I want to see 3,481 in this matrix. And how I'm going to get that number is by using a multiple condition select. So I want to take my shipper demand, where my input source right here, input part source over here, is equal to my model setup right here of this facility. So this facility here matches this facility here. And then I take my flying key, or I create a flying key, and I say also where my shipper demand, where these here, does not equal 0. How do I get that to work? Because what I'm doing is I'm saying, well, go ahead and take this flying key, and I want it to equal 1 right here. And for whatever reason, it's not working for me. I mean, I'm looking at the same input part here, 11139, 11139, 11139. I've got L1 here and L1. So my using as is correct. My flying key appears to be correct. When I go ahead and I step into this using the dependency inspector, I can go ahead and I can look for size, and I can say, well, I have 480 items here. I have 480 items here. When I evaluate that, first part with my facility, it goes ahead and gives me 480 items. And when I go down here and I look at demand not equaling 0, it also gives me 480 items. And then when I hover on the and, again, it's 480, it goes to 480. But when I hover on the select, I'm getting this blank. If you can see that right there, I'm getting this right here. It's just kind of this blank, and I'm like, why is that happening? It doesn't make any sense to me. So when I sum it, I get 0. But I'm like, if I filter on this, I should be getting, 3481 or whatever. Well, I went ahead and I asked the Quantrix masters. I've come across this once or twice, and I'm just like, flying keys are cool, but they don't work all the time. There's something buggy about them. Well, as is always, the problem generally lies between the computer screen and the chair. And what was given to me is, for a solution, was, you see how I have double quotes around this one? Well, that doesn't work because that is a text string, but a flying key creates a binary strings of 1s and 0s. So I need to make this not a text string, but simply an integer or a bit, a 1 or a 0. And if I go ahead and I do that, then it works beautifully for me, and I get 3481. That's exactly what I would expect. So if you're having a flying key issue where it's not bringing back what you think it ought to be bringing back, well, it may be because you've entered the lookup value as a string instead of an integer or a 1 or a 0 or a bit, if you will. Anyway, I hope you find that helpful. I encourage you still to use flying keys. They're awesome. This logic has really helped me out with a lot of the models I've been building with some complexity. So I encourage you to check it out. And if you have any questions, I do hope that you'll reach out to me at quantrixauthority@gmail.com. I absolutely love Quantrix. I love this tool. And my passion is making you a Quantrix master. So please join me again for another episode of Quantrix Authority with Rich Lopez.